Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Literary Learning Lab. Today, our objective is going to be to learn how to identify primary and secondary sources. So, we know that there are two types of sources. The first one we're going to be talking about is primary sources. A primary source simply is any document, text, or even physical object produced by someone who experienced an event firsthand. So, some examples include original literary works, so like novels, books, those kinds of works, interviews, letters, speeches, diaries, journals, maps, advertisements, photos, and videos. The important thing to remember about primary sources is that they were produced by someone who experienced that particular event firsthand. Our next type of sources are secondary sources. Secondary sources are documents or text about the primary source that help provide context or make a commentary. They're usually produced by people who lived after the event being referred to has already occurred, and they're simply around to provide a deeper, more analytical focus on whatever has happened. Examples include academic journals, journal and magazine articles, critical reviews, essays, opinion pieces, biographies, and book reviews. So there's also a third type of source which isn't used very frequently, but it's still helpful to know, and those are tertiary sources. Tertiary sources are texts that serve as a reference to understand your primary and secondary sources. So it's easier to just give examples. They include dictionaries, encyclopedias, even instructors. They're what help you define your terms. Okay, so here I'm going to ask you to pause the video and take out a piece of paper and pen and write down each item to the left and then decide if it is a primary, secondary, or tertiary source. And these will be due at the beginning of the class. Do not worry about if the answer is correct or not. That is why we will be going over it in class. So, why do sources matter? Sources matter because properly identifying the kind of source you have will help establish credibility with your audience. Because if you don't use sources that are credible, it can be detrimental. The detriments include inaccurate information, misinformed opinions, and damage to your own reputation for using non-credible sources. It's important to remember that some sources are more credible than others. Credible sources include academic journals, peer-reviewed articles, books found in school libraries, or really most libraries are considered credible. Less credible sources would include social media posts, internet articles and forums, blogs, text without citations, or texts that are authored by someone who doesn't have the proper credentials for whatever it is they're talking about.